Dial it up, folks. It's here. And I got to change the AD because of what had happened last night. Thanks for those of you that were out at Local Vine and Beer, Wine, and Liquor out in the Cumberland area. Thanks for dropping by last night and hanging out with Jason and Scott. And today's the day. Today's the day when it all starts. Welcome to the chasing after of the cup that the world is pursuing between now and the next 7 weeks. And it feels like it was weird. We got some breaking news, and we'll get into all of our news before we get you into the show this morning. It was weird. It felt like a Monday. It really did. It felt like a Monday. And I mean, in a way, yes, it is, considering that it is it's the first day of the tournament. And it literally, you wake up and it's like you know how like on Monday, it doesn't really matter how many hours of sleep you get. You're just kind of ready and you're up and running, ready to go. The body's kind of on autopilot, knowing that it's the beginning of something. So that's how it was for me this morning. I mean, literally, the boss is up and running. She always gets up massively early so she can have her moments of zen and just have breakfast and get ready to go and all that kind of stuff. She's usually out the door by 7:30. You know, she'll rustle around a little bit. You know, she'll about 5:30. She's up and running. Guardian is with her long enough to go outside. Then he goes right back to bed. But I like 6:30 this morning. I was up. 6:30. I was ready to go. Will, I think you're right. Will's like it is baseball opening day on the steroids. And I think that's where we are. It is one of those days where you don't even worry about the testing procedures. Literally, it's just you're up and running, ready to go. And Will is not wrong. It is opening day on steroids. We'll have your juice boxes. We'll get you ready for the day. And here is the rundown for us. 9:30, Carn Saxena is going to join us from use fanpath.com, the Fanpath app. If you're traveling, if you want to travel to destinations, go from point A to point B, you want to make sure that you're there with those who are of a like mindset when it comes to your fandom. Carn will be here to discuss that with the Fanpath app coming up in about 20 minutes. Then it's the Power Hour. Nino and Nico dropping by, 10 and 10:30. And we'll get you ready for what's on their mind when it comes to opening day on steroids and everything else that's attached to it. We'll get predictions in from them. I'm traditionally bad at brackets, so I've got to help the boss with hers. And the philosophy that I always use, and this works in any sport, is I go from the middle out. I don't go from the outside in. I go from the middle out. Because when you're in the middle, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be chalk or close to it. So I've got to get the boss all squared away in her bracket, but I start in the middle and I go out. That's how I do it. We'll see how successful the boss is this year. She could probably – it's like the episode of Cheers when Diane was picking NFL and she's beating everybody and she was looking at jerseys and color schemes and nicknames and like Buccaneers would beat Saints and that kind of a thing. Well, the Buccaneers are 0-10, but a Buccaneer is a Pirate and he can beat a Saint. That's kind of the rationale. Since the boss enjoys the sport, but she doesn't really know a whole lot about it. And so for her, it's a bit of a learning experience. And so that's why she is, for some reason or another, consulting me when it comes to her bracket. So we'll see what happens. Abby, I don't think you're going to win. Jason has had some information come through, and it has been, he has done his bit in the 343 last night. And what we'll do is we will effort his 343 and everything that goes on in Atlanta soccer tonight as a part of our daily routine. So you'll get like an AST rewind going forward, and it'll be just a reminder for all of you. You start your day here and with Morning Espresso, the newsletter. If you haven't had the chance to subscribe to it, go to soccerdownhere.net. Literally on the front page, way to sign up for Morning Espresso. You get all the news that's fit to print. You get all the stuff that that it's a part of our broadcast day, and then you go into the day. And AST traditionally 10 to midnight as a part of the all-encompassing three-dimensional experience, but we'll have all of the AST-ness as a part of everything going forward. So this morning, once again, it is opening day on steroids. And Abby, yes, I did get my credential. I did. And it took me about 15 minutes. And I don't know why it took 15 minutes, but went in with my ID, and the scanner said there was a problem. And then I went to the help desk, and literally the help desk was like, bangity, 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 bangity. And no, I went a couple days ago. I went Tuesday, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday, and went to go get it. So it does exist. And that is another thing that we've got to figure out, is that for the noon kickoffs, the morning show might be on a little earlier. And it was, it might be on a little earlier. And we got to be out just so we can leave here and go to MBS and get ready for all the activity. Monday's the first stumbling block in that. So we might be on a little earlier. And I think we'll probably call it a day at 10 o'clock. So it might be on these noon kicks, might be 8:30 to 10, might be a little earlier, depending on just the information that we have. So we'll let you know. But the noon kicks are throwing a bit of they're throwing a little bit of sugar in the gas tank. And so we're trying to figure out what to do there. My guess is we'll probably come on a little early, and we'll wrap at about 10 o'clock. But that's just me. And remember, this weekend, SDH AM goes weekend edition, 9:05 Saturday and Sunday. It'll be a power hour at the very least, and then we'll get you ready for your day. Later today, speaking of, in between what we're doing here and AST, Maddie, Drew, and I will be at Reformation in Canton. We're going to be there today and tomorrow. Jason is going to be at Mazzy's in Duluth tomorrow. Tomorrow is 6 to 8, Atlanta Soccer Tonight, getting you ready for the pregame, getting you into the U.S. match. We go from like 5 to 6 tomorrow, Reformation in Canton. Today, 5:15 to 6:15, Maddie, Drew, and I will be there. Tomorrow, like 5 to 6, because we got to be out at 6 to get to Jason, who's doing AST on 92.9. So that's today. So today is this. Get ready. Game at 3, 5:15 to 6:15. Maddie, Drew, and I are in Reformation in Canton. And then, have fun and just be okay. Late kick, 10 o'clock tonight, game number 2. Back at it again tomorrow. So that's the rundown of us today. So Morning Espresso here, Reformation in Canton after match number 1, AST in match number 2, and then get a nap, and then we're back at it again tomorrow. So that's where we are. Okay. We got breaking news in the coaching front overseas, and we will get into that, because what we can do is, I was going to say I could play a piece of music, but I got to find the silly thing with, here it is. I think. There we go. All right, so here's your breaking news when it comes to coaches. We do have a couple of vacancies. We have a vacancy that has been filled, and we have a vacancy that is about to be filled. Shocking no one, really. Martin O'Neill has signed on full at Celtic. And it was going to be one of two folks. And it was going to be, you're thinking it's going to be Martin O'Neill or it's going to be Robbie Keane. Martin O'Neill has signed on again. And At the age of 74, he signs a 1+1. His appetite was whetted, winning a double last month to deliver, quote, more days like those at Celtic, confirmed as their manager on a 1+1. 2 interim spells last year, finished it by securing the Premiership title on the final day, beating Dunfermline in the Scottish Cup final. So 74 years old, 9 major honors at Celtic, manager also from 2000 to 2005. So Martin O'Neill is back in for reals as the head coach at Celtic. And this probably means that if you were to ask Jared about it, it probably means that Celtic will not be investing in any kind of players, because if they all can sit there and say, well, hey, you know, with what we invested, we got this, then they're probably not going to go further than that. So it will be, that's my gut. And like I said, when Jarrett comes in, we can ask him about it, and it just be prepared for the dump button and the E rating by the end of the show. That's news number one. News number two comes from Wolves. They sacked Rob Edwards and are closing in on Portuguese manager Cesar Peixoto. Obviously, they were relegated. Peixoto led Gil Vicente to 6th in the Primera, and we will discuss Peixoto with Nino when he comes in at 10 o'clock. Sacking Rob Edwards, Peixoto is now supposed to be the replacement. Huge shock to Edwards, who was alerted to rumors on social media of a deal on Peixoto. Edwards, who is abroad on holiday, was informed, according to The Guardian, was informed in a phone call that his tenure was over. He was planning for next year and even featured in the video announcing Raul Jimenez's return on a free Tuesday night. Major factor in the signing of Kieran Trippier. He and TD Matt Jackson, once again, they were trying to plot for more signings. Peixoto, who has only managed in Portugal, represented by the Gestafute agency fronted by Jorge Mendes. Close relationship with Wolves' Chinese owner Fosun, who have regularly appointed their clients as head coach, including Pereira, Bruno Lage, and Nuno. Started when Fosun acquired the club back in 2016, also allowed Wolves to sign players like Pedro Neto and Ruben Neves. The executive chair, Nathan Shee, said it was, quote, an extremely difficult decision to sack Edwards, for whom they paid £4 million in compensation to Burrow. Our decision was not about character, professionalism, or dedication. It was about determining what we believe gives Wolves the strongest opportunity to move forward from a sporting perspective. While there were positive signs and areas of progress, we ultimately concluded a different football direction would be better aligned with the style, identity, and level of competitiveness we want to establish at the club. It would have been easier to continue with what was familiar. However, leadership is not about choosing the easiest path, but about making the difficult decisions we believe are right for the future of the club, which will put Wolves on the strongest platform moving forward. So, she, SHI, put that out into the ether, and literally players were shocked. Players, and they're pretty pissed too. Quoting the Telegraph and John Percy. Anger among the playing squad. 7 months after he was appointed, he's out. Spoke to senior officials, Edwards, was told the news was inaccurate, and then he was informed of his sacking early this morning, local time, by Matt Jackson, the technical director. And then once again, you get into the whole Trippier, Raul Jimenez idea. Mendes and his associate Valdir Cardoso, once again, putting together a deal for Peixoto to replace Edwards before the new campaign. Bottom of the Premier League, when they sacked Pereira in November, appointed Edwards with the understanding the club likely to be relegated and would need to rebuild next season in the Championship. Shee's statement was longer. We read you the greatest hits. Kieran McKenna, by the way, has resigned at Ipswich. So if Rob Edwards is looking for a gig anytime soon, maybe he should knock on the door of the Tractor Boys, considering it appears that Kieran McKenna is heading to Fulham since Marco Silva is now at Benfica. Or pretty blank and close. So if Rob Edwards is looking for a gig, and I'm hoping that Wolves paid him, I really hope they paid him. So Rob Edwards, 7 months in after leaving from Borough, gets sacked by Wolves after being told the same day earlier that, nah, you're good. Nah, you're good. Everything's cool. So it wasn't. Edwards is on holiday. He gets sacked. They're bringing in a guy who's only coached in Portugal. And like I said, we'll talk to Nino Torres about it at 10 o'clock. We'll get his thoughts on Gil Vicente and his thoughts on Peixoto and what he's getting into in the championship, and if Peixoto should just lease and not buy. That's my gut, anyway. So that's your broken news this morning involving coaching changes, and let the carousel continue. Today is the day, folks. We'll go over juice boxes in a bit. NYC renamed a street after Thierry Henry, which I think is very cool. Nothing like having a street named after you. I think that'd be kind of cool. I think it would. A couple of other headlines. Omar Artan has been picked to referee the UEFA Super Cup. Just to remind folks about that. That's going to be Villa and PSG in August in Salzburg, Austria. So Artan is going to be the center ref for that one. Spike Lee has taken time out of his Knicks schedule to attend Brazil's training session. Ancelotti got a guard of honor for his birthday. What did you get Carlo Ancelotti for his birthday? That'd be a big question for me. First game in Mexico City, obviously 3 o'clock, host country in South Africa. Today's temperature in the Mexican capital peaking around 82 degrees. And you'll still have your hydration breaks. So keep an eye out for all of this stuff. Toulouse has announced a curfew for under 16s during high-risk World Cup matches after the PSG celebrations when they won the Champions League. So keep an eye on all of that, too. All right. Gossip, rumor, and innuendo, what to watch, where to watch it, how to watch it. And I think the how to watch it might be the easy part. Brought to us by our friends at Fanatis, fntz.co/soccer down here. And that link helps them out, helps us out, helps you out. Gets you places that you might not have known about, gets you a lot of tournaments you might not have had access to. You get all the BNs, which means you get 3 leagues in Europe, France, Turkey, and Poland. The Polish league was crazy this past year. You get Libertadores, you get Sudamericana with TSE in Argentina. You get their coverage of the World Cup, which has been tremendous, by the way. And you get Copa Argentina with them. You get Liga 1 Max Pro out of Peru. You get a lot of the A and B divisions in other South American countries. And with BN, you get everything in Africa. You get the AFCON. You get all of the tournaments in the Middle East and Northern Africa. All at Fanatis at fntz.co/soccer down here. Sorry, /soccer down here. No, I'm already subscribed, people. It's like here, tell you what, you need to subscribe. And I'm like, no, I already subscribed. Success, you're signed in. Well, gee, thanks. Tell me something I didn't know. All right, so 3 o'clock on Big FOX, Mexico and South Africa. 10 o'clock on FS1, it is South Korea and Czechia. The first game in today's Reveo tournament on Fox Deportes was Venezuela and Japan, Portugal and Canada, 1 o'clock. Telemundo has both matches tonight, this afternoon and today. Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, Czechia. Fox ONE, the Reveo, and the World Cup. Peacock has the World Cup as well, and both those matches there. So that's your rundown. It's really pretty easy. All of the ancillary programming goes in and around it. It's going to be on all of your favorite networks, and it will be right there for you. Fox, FS1, Telemundo, Peacock, and all points in between. Brought to us by our friends at Fanatis, fntz.co/soccer down here. Now, gossip, rumor, and innuendo before Karn Saxena joins us from Use Fanpath coming up bottom of the hour. So, Manchester United apparently has pulled out of the race for Elliot Anderson from Nottingham Forest because a £121 million offer was turned down. Nico Williams remains of interest to Arsenal. PSG ready to try their luck with Michael Olise. Arsenal interested in a summer move for Nico Williams from Athletic Club, according to Team Talk. Gunners have been long-term admirers of the forward, even though he signed a new long-term deal last year. Still hopeful of getting a move over the line. Williams reported to be considering his options after a tough campaign that saw him struggle with a groin injury. PSG want to try their luck with Michael Olise, according to L'Equipe. Real Madrid have also been linked with a 150 million euro bid for the French international, following his campaign in the Bundesliga, where he was 15 plus 21. Herbert Heiner, the Bayern chair, recently claimed Elise was not available for transfer this summer, has a contract until 2029. United have joined City in the race for Everton winger Iliman Ndiaye, according to Sky. Ndiaye's caught the eye with his performances in the Premier League this year, set to star for Senegal at the World Cup. City have shown interest in recent days as a possible and potential replacement for Savinho, who is set to move to Spurs. United looking to bolster their squad ahead of their return to Champions League next year. City have offered a new contract until 2031 to defender Josko Vardiol amid uncertainty of his future, according to Sky Germany's Florian Plettenberg. Vardiol has 2 years remaining on his deal at the Etihad, will reportedly either extend the deal with City or push to join Real Madrid this summer. Croat international has been out of action for most of the campaign after suffering a broken leg, going to play at the World Cup. Return to AC Milan for Sandro Tonali from Newcastle could be on the cards, according to Team Talk. Move seems tough because of Newcastle's £100 million valuation. The Rossoneri are evaluating ways to reduce the overall cost of the deal. Arsenal, United, and City have all been linked with a move for the 26-year-old, but if he's going to leave this summer from Newcastle, his preference would be to return to the San Siro. Barcelona have completed the signing of Egypt international Hamza Abdelkarim from Al Ahly for an initial fee of €1.5 million. The 18-year-old initially joined Barca on loan in January. Club decided to make a move permanent after impressive performances for youth teams. Marcus Senesi has agreed to join Spurs from Bournemouth, confirmed. Defender is De Zerbi's second summer signing, say that 10 times fast, after the arrival of Andy Robertson from Liverpool. Arriving on a free contract with Bournemouth expires on July 1st. Once again, City made a bid for Nottingham Forest midfielder Elliot Anderson. City's verbal is understood to be worth 106, 120 with add-ons. Sources said Forest value him at 120 million before bonuses, and that's why other teams have pulled out. Once again, United not interested. Barcelona unlikely to activate the €30 million option for Marcus Rashford to make that loan permanent, but Hansi Flick will have the final say with Monday's deadline for the decision. Arsenal winger Caitlin Ford signed a new contract. Club confirmed, sources telling ESPN it's a 2-year deal. Australian international joined from Sydney FC in 2020, 203 appearances, 57 goals on the board. Other rumors. Spurs forward Matisse Tell could make a move to Bournemouth this summer. Team Talk. Villa have shortlisted Parma keeper Zion Suzuki as a top target. One of 3 shot stoppers being targeted should Emi Martinez leave the club, with links to Juve, Fabrizio Romano. Chelsea set to sign Wigan attacking midfielder Harrison Batoni, the 18-year-old choosing Chelsea over City and AC Milan. Football Insider. Liverpool want €20 million to let Federico Chiesa go back to Serie A. That's from Caught Offside. Udinese midfielder Arthur Atta, 23, has emerged as an option for Newcastle, preparing to send a first offer to the Serie A club. That's from Nicolo Schira. As is, Bournemouth showing interest in Bologna defender Jean Lucumi to help out their backline. He's got a €28 million release clause in his contract. Spurs and Jed Spence have become a surprise target for Juve this summer. Club won't sanction an exit unless there's €40 million valuation that is met. That's from Ekrem Konur. Also from Konur, Everton leads in Brighton, battling it out to sign Feyenoord forward Ayase Ueda following his impressive campaign. €10 million gap in the latest discussions over Inter Milan's move with Liverpool midfielder Curtis Jones, 25-year-old entering his final deal under his contract at Anfield. That's from Gazzetta dello Sport. Sporting KC, keep an eye on this one. In the race to sign Toulouse winger Jan Boho, but would have to break their $9.5 million transfer record, as the 25-year-old's transfer is valued at $20 million. That's a question for David Lee, the sporting director. Fulham have held talks with Alvaro Arbeloa for their vacant managerial position. Interim spell in charge at Real Madrid is over. That's from The Athletic. And lastly, Ipswich eyeing Gary O'Neill as a potential replacement for Kieran McKenna, who stepped down because he is probably heading to Fulham. All right, bottom of the hour. That means one thing. It means we check in on what it means to go on a path, a fan path, perhaps. This is where we catch up with our friend Karn Saxena and use fanpath.com and find out what's going on. Check out the backdrop here. Dude, look at that.
Hey, how's it going, John? Minute.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're styling and profiling there, brother. I mean, you got greenery and homes, and it's that's a good backdrop, man.
Not bad, is it? I'm in the countryside. I'm in New Jersey, next to MetLife, checking the stadium out, checking the World Cup out. It's fun times.
Yeah, I pray for your wallet, sir, with all the fees. Reason that we had you back is that since the tournament is starting today, I've heard that this is a big deal. And I wanted to bring you back to once again reacquaint everyone with Fanpath and the app and progress, and now with the tournament going on, with folks that might need some help when it comes to hanging out. Like if you want to dive into a city and you're going by yourself, you want to hang out with folks. I want to go all the way back to the beginning here to get everybody caught up. What was it that had you start the idea of Fanpath and the Fanpath app to help folks out for these big ticket situations like we are having starting today?
Absolutely, great question. Um, this platform really started the day the FIFA World Cup draw happened, and that's because the moment it happened, the moment it ended, I saw a lot of tweets saying, "Hey, if Argentina and Portugal top the group, then they will meet in the quarterfinals." And I said, "Hey, you know what? I need to be there. This is going to be the last time Messi and Ronaldo face each other. I gotta be there, right?" So I go ahead and I start looking at all the simulators online, and I'm like, hey, all of these are different. Like all of them are showing different results. So I just made my own, and my background is in gaming, in e-commerce. I said, by the way, excuse my voice. I was at a Knicks watch party yesterday.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I know how that went.
In New York, and it was insane. So my voice is gone completely. It was riots. It was crazy. Uh, so yeah, I said, you know what, let's just make my own simulator. And being a founder 5 years, I'm used to like problem solving a little bit. So I said, hey, we've made a simulator, but when I look at Qatar, when I was in Qatar last time, everything was centralized, everything was cheap, right? Tickets were fairly cheap, transport was free, of course, taxis were free, mobile data was free, public subways were free as well, the metros. So I was like, that was great, but let's look at the upcoming World Cup. All of a sudden, you've got 48 teams for the first time ever,
Mhm.
16 host cities, 2,000 plus miles, 10,000 plus possible paths per team, and that's just insane, right? So no fan can manually plan all of that by themselves. And I said, okay, there needs to be a coordination platform. So I dove into it. I said, okay, maybe a community for each nation makes sense, where essentially fans come together, they find each other, they form squads, which are group chats, and then they coordinate on things like housing, events, travel. So they split housing, they travel together, they buy and sell tickets without resale fee. In other words, they trade tickets or transfer tickets,
Mhm.
and that's the essence of the app.
What's been the thing that has surprised you the most since the app came online?
Um,
And it can be something having to do with administrating it, making sure that it's kept up to date. It could be feedback. You tell me. It can be in the app, out of the app, people concerned, electronics concerned. You tell me.
yeah, I'll tell you what. So the idea, I've spoken to a lot of people about it. I've been in New York for a month and a half, and everyone I've spoken to it about it has been, why has this not happened before? You know, because we don't just, this isn't just for the World Cup. We started the World Cup, we go to Formula One, we go to WWE, we go to concerts worldwide. And they're like, why has this never been done before? Like, these are all the issues that I've faced when I've gone to Formula One or these other events, right? So in terms of feedback on the idea, I think everyone loves the idea. In terms of acquisition, it's been a bit challenging because, number one, I don't know about the other cities. I'd love to hear from you, John.
Mhm.
But in New York, there really isn't a lot of hype for the World Cup. Like, there are no banners. I don't see people with jerseys at all. It just, it feels like a regular day. This does not feel like the World Cup. I was staying at Times Square for a month, on Theater District, and I would go down every day and I would see the vibe, and I just, there wasn't a single World Cup ad, which is crazy. I actually, on my Instagram as well, I made a reel about it. Um, so that's been, that's been something. But acquisition has been challenging because we're trying to reach out to the traveling fan. We're reaching out to a lot of generic football fans.
Mhm.
So what we've done is we've reframed our thinking, and we're instead now gonna double down on offline events. So we are sponsoring shuttles. If you guys are traveling in the 16 host cities, we are going to be sponsoring shuttles. We are going to be sponsoring carpools, watch parties. Drinks are on us. So have fun.
No doubt. Well, I think that it's almost like cramming for a test, like when we were in university, where it's like, okay, the test is coming, I know it's an exam. I know it's, for a quarter of my grade or whatever. And then the day before, it's like, oh crap, I've got to study for this test. And so then the test happens and then everybody's rushing forward. So I think that you're going to get a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's like around the country. Oh, in the cities that aren't the actual venues for matches. Like in a Chattanooga, it was insane when the Spanish national team, and that's where they're practicing and getting everything. Chattanooga went upside down when the Spanish national team came to town. I mean, literally, it was blocking off streets and making sure that no one could go into the sidewalks. They had fencing in and around the hotel, and they had I want to say it was a 500-person open practice, and they had 27,000 inquiries to get tickets to get in the door.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so I think that leading into the tournament, in those places where, like in Lawrence, Kansas, where Algeria shows up, and they have fans that are lining the way to the hotel. The off the beaten track markets where teams are resting and they're practicing away from the beaten path. That's where the hype was early. And now that the matches are going on, I think that's when it picks up, and then it's going to get momentum as it gets deeper and deeper and deeper into the group stage. So I think that's where it's been so far. And then everybody here in the States is like, okay, yeah, all right, it's here. Then let's get to it. So it might be a band of impulse shoppers that you're going to be dealing with here. It's like, oh yeah, let's go. And so something like that.
That makes sense. And then when people see other people just holding towards this new thing that they're not really too accustomed to, I feel like that's gonna create like a domino effect. So let's see. Hopefully that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there are interesting things about this where you have the groups where fans can gather together and they can have their own exchanges and feedback and all these kinds of things. When you're building something like this out, how many different ideas do you have to kind of sit there and spitball? And it's like, okay, well, I think they need this. I think they need to know about travel. I think they need to know about ticket. I know they need to know about lodging, but then there are subsets in all of that. How deep a thought is this, and how many other folks are there with you to bang this process out, to sit there and try to think of every possible eventuality that could be happening that has to be considered here?
That's a great question. Honestly, yeah, I haven't heard that one before. So I'm a solo founder, right? However, I speak to a lot of people. VCs, investors, founders, just people, who build things, who solve problems. A lot of these are people who use the app, need the app for certain travels. So when it comes to what you're building, it all comes down to your core thesis, your core value prop, right? For us, it is, we want to make sure that you have your cheapest World Cup trip possible. Everything is super expensive. We want to make sure you have the cheapest trip possible. We want to make sure that people from Argentina can fly over to wherever Argentina is going to play, and they can actually watch the match with their team, right? By splitting stays and everything. That's a core value prop. So when we look at all the features, I'm always looking at things that are going to aid to that or attest to that, right? So for example, some people mentioned to me, hey, Kern, why don't you add merch to Fanpath? And, you can do an affiliate link with Fanatics. I'm like, I don't want to overcomplicate things.
Right.
We've got housing, we've got tickets, we've got events, and then we've got like Intel, stuff like that. We've got MyPath, which makes a cheapest itinerary maker using AI. We have a simulator which simulates the entire tournament for you based on which team you're following. So we don't want to add more features because I've done this before, and I know that the more you add, the more complex it gets, and people stray away from it. So it's just, long story short, to answer your question, you have to stay completely focused on what your core thesis is, what your mission is, and just make sure that you're messaging that in the most simple way possible. Yeah.
So when you put the simulator together,
yeah,
I do have an AI question that I'm going to ask you in a second.
Sure.
That's my follow-up. But when you put the simulator together, piecing together variable A, variable B, variable C. How much of a build out is that? Because I would imagine with all of these variables, and it's like if X then Y, and I was a guy that made C's and D's in algebra, so you're going to have to bear with me here. I was not a trig guy, so derivatives were my downfall.
Yeah.
When you're building this out, how difficult is it to account for every eventuality? Because you've got to think about weather, you've got to think about flights, you've got to think about access, you've got to think about the room availabilities when it comes to. I mean, all of these different variables plug into this equation. Do you sit there after like one stage and go, "Oh crap, I forgot to add this," and then have to reset things in your build?
No, so I'm trying to share my screen. I'm not sure if you can see it, but this is the simulator.
Mhm.
Can you see it?
Yeah, you're good.
Great, yeah. So by the way, we're also doing challenges. So if you simulate the tournament correctly, you get prizes and all that, and tickets as well.
Be careful
So
with your prizes, sir. We don't want FIFA to get mad at you.
yeah, no, we're giving away tickets. So yeah, if you simulate correctly, hopefully you win. But no, so this is the tournament simulator. It's based on FIFA's official tournament format. So over here, you can essentially simulate the tournament based on how you think people are going to perform.
Right.
This is where you select who you think is going to come top 8, and from here, very simply, you just see who you think is going to win, right? So effectively, you can book a quarterfinal between or a semi-final between France and Spain.
Yes.
And you can see where that's going to be. That's going to be match 101 at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. So let's say I'm a fan of Spain.
Got it.
And I want to see where they might play in the future if they win the group stage. So I can pre-plan or have an idea of where my team would play on the 14th of July for the semifinals.
Okay.
So this is fairly standard. However, the question that you had is my path, right? So my path is where essentially you say where you're flying from.
Yep.
And I know the last time we spoke, we didn't have this.
Yep.
Which team you're following? Argentina. How many people? Is this me? I want to see every match. I know it's crazy. Total trip budget, I'm okay with spending, let's say 12,000. Standard, I'm flexible with my dates, and then it's going to generate your path for you. So over here, you'll see it's going to tell you all the details in terms of where your group stages are, where your knockouts would be, what dates they're going to be, what your flight route is going to be, domestic trips, all these things, estimated housing listings, ticket sourcing, and I'll show you all of that in a bit, right? It shows you a cost breakdown, buffer, and then if you look over here, you can see a solo versus my path. So if you want to go solo, it's going to cost you this much, but via Fanpath, you save all this money with a squad of 3 people. So if you can split housing 3 ways, you get tickets as face value, and you share carpools for travel, you save this much money. Now you can also find nation mates. You can reach out to these people and say, hey, I'm traveling the same dates that you are. Would you mind, being a nation mate? We can form a squad and we can split everything together. That's that idea. Then we also have flights, so you can book flights from here directly. I'm not going to go through this process. Housing as well. So we have all these different housing items, listings that you can book from Fanpath. We have different events like these watch parties, meetups, tailgate parties. We have tickets that you can buy. Argentina versus Austria. People are selling for, this is crazy. Don't buy this, by the way. Someone's selling this for 200. Not sure why. It could be us from a while ago. I'll keep that in mind. And then we also have hotels. So this is one more thing that we didn't speak about last time. But let's quickly go to the club. Events, like I showed you, similar to how Luma works, you get different types of events. You can attend them. You get tickets, fan zones, carpools, tailgates, watch parties, housing as well. Real quick, we have some housing that goes down to $38 per night per fan.
Whoa.
So if there are 5 people sharing a spot, it's $38 per night. That's it. We also have hotels. We have tickets. So yeah, that's the platform.
Okay, so then there's something else that one thing that I haven't seen in here yet, and I didn't know if it was going to be a part of your variables. What about car rentals? If you just wanted to go with a car and go from point A to point B instead of flying from point to point, because there are some folks who are going to be grouped, and you won't necessarily have to travel from one end of the planet to the other.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so to your previous question, right? How do you think about features and things? So I'll make this short.
Yeah.
Um, Someone recently told me about Michelin story, Michelin tires and Michelin stars, right?
Mhm.
So Michelin realized in the 1930s that people who needed tires after 8 years and not six.
Right.
So their projections were wrong.
Yeah.
That was costing them a lot of money. Um, so how do you solve that? How do you solve the demand problem? Essentially, they created a road trip culture. So they made Michelin guides.
Yeah.
They said, okay, these restaurants have 1 stars. If there are restaurants that have 2 stars, you definitely need to go them. If they have 3 stars, you need to leave everything you're doing. You got to fly there and you're going to try this food out. So they gave Michelin stars to all these different restaurants in the country.
Mhm.
And what happened was a lot of people wanted to try them out. And they were like on the highway, stuff like that. So people had to take road trips. So with that, through that, they created a road trip culture in the country. And long story short, they solved the demand problem by creating a different culture. So for us, when I look at what that could be for Fanpath, I'm thinking about guides, right? City to city guides. It's like, okay, we have Argentina fans traveling to Kansas, we have USA fans traveling to LA, we have Brazil fans traveling to New York City and New Jersey. It's like, okay, the moment they land, they're tourists here, right? It's vacation for them. What are they gonna do? So we show them guides. It's like, okay, this is the best voted restaurant in the city.
Mhm.
This is the best voted Philly cheesesteak in Philadelphia. This is the best whatever. Go over there, try that out, right? Go through this carpool that Fanpath has, meet other people. So like creating that culture where you meet other people, you travel with them. So and that includes car rentals as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
When it comes to AI
Hmm.
and how you integrate it, if it is used correctly, I think that AI could be a benefit in you trying to get things done the way that you want them to get done. I know that a lot of folks sit there to think about AI as this monolithic thing that is out there, and one
Yeah.
by 4 by 9 and what have you.
Yeah.
When it comes to using AI, how long did it take you to have AI understand you and what you were trying to accomplish with FanPath, so the process became easier for AI to help you to accomplish what you wanted with the app? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I can answer that in a very short way. It took, I mean, AI today is, I'm trying to find the words. It really is something. I mean, it's, it has all the context in the world. And if you can provide additional context on what you're doing, it understands perfectly.
Okay.
I mean, I've spitballed with AI, and my path, for example, my path was AI's idea. It wasn't even mine,
Huh.
right? So I was talking about Fanpath, and it's like, hey, have you thought about this idea where you can actually build cheapest itineraries for people using AI based on everything you already have? I'm like, that's a great idea, you know. So in
And you
my
don't even
view,
have to give it a cut of the revenue, man. You just have to pay for
right?
it. Silent business partners.
Yeah,
I notice I'm trying to talk a whole lot, so you don't have to talk as much, because I know that you burned your voice out at Game 4 last night with the comeback and everything.
it's insane.
For everybody that needs this kind of intel and information and downloading the app, which is iOS and Android, they can do it that way. Best way to get all the intel and information other than downloading the app, where do they go?
Our socials are use Fanpath. I would recommend checking them out. And I say that because you're going to see everything that we're doing, right? You're going to see my face on there. You're going to see all the hotels we have. Oh, by the way, forgot to mention a big
Yeah.
part of Fanpath.
Mhm.
We have hotels. We have the same inventory that Booking.com has, that Expedia has. The only difference is that we charge a 0% commission.
There you go.
So we are the cheapest place online to book hotels.
There you go. 0% commission. We like that idea. That's a good number.
No
Uh,
one does it.
So all the social medias, go to use Fanpath. That's on. I saw that on the Twitters, and that was where we were promoting you there as well. But yeah, if folks have questions, they're trying to get from point A to point B and figure it all out, because I've heard this tournament's a big deal. They need to go and catch up with you and download the Fanpath app. Can't thank you enough, as always. Like I said, you got to save the pipes, man. It's a long 7 weeks. You got to make sure that gassed up, ready to go. So
Yeah.
you're there at the Meadowlands.
Hmm.
Where are you going next? When are you leaving there? Where are you going?
So Sunday morning, I go to Kansas City. Um, that's my confirmed plan. That's it. Because then I got to be in LA. I have to watch a few matches that I'm invited to. Turkey versus USA. There's one Iran match. That's in the SoFi Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll be in Dallas for Argentina's last group stage match.
Got it.
Then I'll be in Atlanta for the round of 16.
Yeah.
Argentina.
Okay.
I'm guessing they win.
I'm thinking.
Yeah. And then quarterfinals, Argentina, Portugal for sure. If both of them win, yeah.
Good deal. Well, as always, my friend, it's great to get these updates and see you build something and see the successes and the growing pains that are attached to all of it. Save the pipes. Go get your honey and lemon, and make sure that you're there because it's going to be a fun tournament over the next 7 weeks. Thanks for opening this door for us and letting everybody know if they've got questions about how to get from point A to point B and how to do it. It's with our friends at Fanpath. Karn, good to see you, my friend.
You as well. Have a nice one, John.
There he goes. He's going to go save his voice now. And so it's Karn Saxena from Fanpath. Use Fanpath on all the social medias. Use Fanpath on the worldwide webs. And you can, once again, they've got simulators for travel from point A to point B. My Path to get your planner, to get all your itinerary squared away. You can join their club. You can sit there and have folks, that have similar interests with everything that you might be following in this tournament. Hey, you're traveling from point A to point B. Hey, let's make new friends. That's kind of what the experience is about too. Shared experiences. So the simulator, My Path, joining a club, downloading it on the Apple, on the App Store, and then at Google Play, planning out every scenario for you, and then kind of walks you through the whole process. And so the founder and CEO of Fanpath, Karn Saxena, very, very cool to be able to share this experience. And you saw with Fanpath the just the financial differences when it comes to doing stuff like this. And remember, this is just here with the World Cup, and so the plans are other things and down the line. So just check them out. Use fanpath.com. I hope it helps as you're going from point A to point B when it comes to this here tournament that we're talking about for the next 7 weeks and not getting any sleep whatsoever about it. Coming up in about 8 minutes, it's going to be the start of the Power Hour with Nino and Nico. We're going to break everything down. We're going to find out about this new manager at Wolves and find out what he was able to do, finishing 6th in the Liga de Portugal and Liga de Uno, and we'll find out what it's going to look like for Wolves. And like I said, if the guys should rent instead of buy, I think they probably should. So today you got your 2 matches, and it is once again match in the evening, match in the afternoon. And so we got to look at the juice boxes that are attached here. And if you are in the Discord, picks of the week are up. Medio is starting today. And match number 2 is the beginning of it. Match number 1, Mexico and South Africa. Mexico right now, courtesy of our friends at Odds Portal, is a minus 238. Draws a plus 350. South Africa is a plus 750. Obviously, the questions in and around Mexico, trying to figure out, okay, what is the what is it with the expectations that are there? What is it going to look like with these matchups today? And once again, it's Group A. Mexico and South Africa. Then tonight at 10 o'clock, it is South Korea and Czechia. The juice boxes that are attached there. South Korea is a plus 170. Draw is a plus 210. Czechia is a plus 195. Our numbers in the Discord for picks of the week on the Medio are a little closer than that. But Czech Republic has been getting a lot of the attention since last night, since we pieced it together. And the numbers are closing when it comes to juice boxes in those 2 matchups. So Group A today, then we go and we work our way forward. So with this group and with this matchup, I dub the tournament off and running. And so looking at Group A, obviously, you're looking at Czechia with Miroslav Kubek, ranked 41st in the world, and they came in through the playoffs. Spine a lot of experience. Thomas Socek in the midfield. And you wonder, physicality, work rate, set pieces, all of that. So that's the idea. Vladislav Krejci stepping in as captain, scored in both playoff matches. Patrick Schick expected to be the main weapon. Fitness improved for Bayer Leverkusen toward the end of the 25-26 season. So long-distance travel, time zone changes in altitude, because you're going 2 matches in Mexico and then the team base being in Dallas. Keep an eye on that for Czechia. Winning the World Cup playoffs against the Republic of Ireland and Denmark, winning both ties on penalties after making their way through in 120 minutes. They did, however, lose to our friends at the Faroe Islands, which meant that Ivan Hasek, the coach at the time, got sacked. Miroslav Kubek took over, and you see now the end result. Keep an eye on keeper. Mati Kovar helped PSV Eindhoven win the Dutch title, but you also have Braga's Lucas Hornacek, Lucas Provod, and Pavel Solsch. Keep an eye on them when it comes to productivity. Got into the group stage. They've had 6 appearances in the tournament. Got into the group stage once. 7-1-2, and they're plus 10. Set to become the oldest coach at 74, Kubek. Then Dick Advocat was reappointed to lead Curacao, coaching in the lower Czech leagues, working as an insurance broker until his 50s. Worked his way up to the Czech top flight, eventually managed Slavia Prague and Victoria Pilsen. And so obviously focus on Patrick Schick. So keep an eye on that's your Czechia update. As we sit here and thumb through the groups themselves. Mexico with Javier Aguirre, ranked 15th in the world, 3rd World Cup on home soil. Keepers, Raul Rangel, Acevedo, and Guillermo Ochoa. Memo Ochoa is the 3rd keeper on this roster. Defenders, Sanchez, Montes, Vasquez, and Israel Reyes. Midfielders, Edson Alvarez, Eric Lira, Alvaro Fidalgo from Real Madrid. Pineda, Vargas, Mora, who signed a long-term deal. Chavez and Brian Gutierrez. Remember him from Chicago Fire. Jimenez, Vega, Santiago Jimenez, Armando Gonzalez, Junior Quiñones, Huerta, Guillermo Martinez, and Roberto Alvarado. South Africa, ranked 60th, hosted in 2010, held off Nigeria in qualifying. Obviously, for those of us here in Major League Soccer, you've got Mboazi at the back line. We've seen his career just skyrocket in the last year or so. Olwetu Makanya from Philadelphia Union, also a part of this. Keep an eye also at the back for Sebelebele. Kamohelo Sebelebele. Midfielders. Talente Mbata, Teboho Mokoena, Jaden Adams. Forwards. Moremi, Foster, Zwane. South Korea. Korea Republic. Hong Myung-bo, their head coach, they're ranked 25th. The Taegyuk Warriors, unbeaten to qualify for their 11th straight finals. And then you're looking at Son Heung-min. Obviously, he is a focal point for all of that. You have Kim Min-jae at the back from Bayern Munich. He's going to be the focus on the back line. Then Sonny, one of your forwards. Wang Hee-chan from Wolves. We know him from cups of coffee in the Premier League and the Championship. You have Lee Kang-in from PSG that is a part of it as well. And Yom Ji-sung from Swansea. So that's your rundown of those 4. And for South Korea, ranked 25. Remember, they were in Provo, Utah. They got their two friendlies with El Salvador and Trinidad and Tobago out at BYU. Qualifying, they won 5-11. Won 11 and drew 5. Only gave up 8 goals in 16 qualifying matches. So then you had, after their 22 campaign, knocked off Portugal to get to the knockouts. They had Jurgen Klinsmann, remember, South Korea. He was appointed by the KFA president. That didn't go well, lasting less than a year. Young Myung-bo, one of the country's greatest footballing figures, operates without any kind of media or public support. He's been in charge of. He's already been in charge for a World Cup back in 2014. He didn't have a win, and obviously the focus is going to be on Sonny. Keep an eye on Lee Jae-sung as well. So we'll keep an eye on all of that. That is Group A. You've got your juice boxes, and so we will be intrigued with what happens today with these first two matchups: Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, Czech Republic. I wonder if the emotion of the moment might be too much, at least early on for Mexico. Maybe trying too hard. And if South Africa gets the early marker at the Azteca, which is going to have a different name, then how do they respond? I'm probably going to be watching Telemundo coverage as best I can. But I'm intrigued. What happens early? Mexico has been porous defensively earlier in this cycle than late. Firepower is there. Can they piece it together? And then Korea Republic, Czech Republic, that one's going to be interesting on a bunch of different levels. Obviously, it's Sonny and Socek and Patrick Schick, and that's why this one seems to be more of the even-Steven draw variety when it comes to this particular matchup. So that's the rundown for anything and everything. Hydration break now, since we are at the midpoint. Hydration break now. We're going to take a little bit. Brought to us by our friends at Local Vine, Beer, Wine, and Liquor, 2 locations. It is Cumberland area where we were last night. And once again, thanks to them there for letting us come and hang out. And it was Jason and Scott Flood. That was interesting. So you can go back and keep an eye on. Go watch that show, and you go to localvinestore.com, and you can get all the intel and information that you need when it comes to any and all. Johns Creek, Cobb Parkway. You can get all of your desires set forth to just make sure that you consume carefully and responsibly. Local Vine, Beer, Wine, and Liquor. Once again, 2 locations, Cumberland and in Johns Creek. Hour number 1, we caught you up on coaching changes. Karn Saxena from our friends at usefanpath.com. Coming up, it's the Power Hour. Nino Torres from Fubo TV, where we do have questions. We'll find out what's going on in South America and get his thoughts. And then, obviously, we'll discuss with Nico Moreno from Pulso Sports and Sounder at Heart what he thinks, because with El Tri kicking off today, pressure, we know about pressure. We also know what he thinks about Mexico and about South Africa and all points in between. So we'll find out what the thought pattern is for Nino and Nico here in the Power Hour. And we'll break it all down here for you once again. Brought to us by our friends, a hydration break, brought to us by our friends at Local Vine, Beer, Wine, and Liquor stores, 2 locations here in and around the Atlanta area. Thanks for being great partners and great friends with us here at SDH. And hopping on here in 2026 as a part of our sprint to cover anything and everything going on in the footprint. And also, welcome to our friends at NSBN, National Sports Broadcasting Network. They are new here. Our friend Gabe Schrei is part and parcel to it all. And great to be on NSBN as well, starting today, as a matter of fact, with the beginning of the World Cup tournament. Okay, it is that time where we make sure that we have our proper hydration as our guest is getting properly hydrated, warmed up. You got the warm liquid going. You got to make sure the pipes are what the pipes are, because we got to talk about it all. And we go to Lima, Peru, and catch up with our friend Nino Torres and find out what is going on as we go fully loaded on day 1 of the cup that the world is chasing after. Yellow, yellow, yellow on a Thursday, sir.
Yellow, yellow, yellow soccer down here, fans, in the most beautiful Thursday ever. There's not another most beautiful Thursday than today, brother, because today is the World Cup. This is when the party starts, and I got something for you guys. I got something for you to remember, because it's Mexico versus South Africa, and I got this for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I made the wrong call. Shoot. This one. Hold on. Hold on. I got it.
Oh. Oh, yes. 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 The hair flying into the corner. Remember. Yes. Bafana, brother. That's what we're staring at
Brother.
later today. Oh, boy. And I was
You
talking
know,
about before you came
that
on.
it's just, yeah, Peter Drury for me. I mean,
Mhm.
he's the best in the business, man.
Mhm.
Um, he's just
Yes, sir.
just magical. He's poetic. He's just like, yeah, it's
Mhm. Before
he's the best, man.
before we
And
get
he's British.
yes, I think he's a Watford fan, if I remember correctly. And so for
I
him to
think
call
so.
Watford matches, it's been kind of painful. Uh, I have a question for you because of a coaching change that happened this morning
Uh-huh.
while the original coach was out on holiday and was assured after 7 months on the gig that, yeah, no, your job is safe when it wasn't. And now Rob Edwards is out at Wolves, and he was told while he's out on vacation, and they're bringing in apparently Cesar Peixoto from Gil Vicente.
What? No,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
no. Why Peixoto? No, don't go, Peixoto. Don't go anywhere. Don't leave Evangelistas, brother.
Uh huh.
Don't leave Evangelistas. No.
Uh huh. Apparently, yeah, and like
Oh no.
we talked about it this morning. Peixoto has only coached in Portugal, but
Yeah,
the
he's a smart
relationships
coach, man.
behind the scenes with the owners of Wolves, Jorge Mendes and Valdir Cardoso, they were putting together a deal for Peixoto to replace Edwards before the new season starts. I'm hoping he's leasing and not buying because it's Wolves.
Well, Peixoto has a contract until the end of this of 2027. They renewed the contract. He renewed the contract with Gil Vicente last season,
Mm-hmm.
and so he had contract until 2027 because he was doing so well. And then I was like, please, don't let this guy go. Don't let this guy go. And they re-signed and they extend his contract. But it's the Premier League, so it's when that kind of money knocks on the door.
It's the championship. They got relegated, so this is
Oh
this is
yeah,
for
the championship. I'm sorry.
for the
Well,
this is for the
England.
championship, man.
Um, Man, it is that is a brutal tournament, the championship. But I don't know. I don't know if Peixoto will leave. The thing is, Gil Vicente is not a big club, John. I mean, the expectations. I mean, not the expectations. The money there is not that great, if you can say, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but man, when money talks, he probably will leave. He
And
will probably leave.
when Mendez comes to the table, you're going to
Oh
sit there.
yeah. With his 5 cell phones, yeah, he's gonna make it work if he wants to, right? He's gonna
Yeah.
force his muscle in there.
That's why I wanted to ask you off the top, as you are
But
properly
Peixoto, on the tactical side, Peixoto is one of the smartest coaches in the Premier League, Johnny. If he goes to Wolves, I mean, they're gonna get a great coach. I'm telling you that.
Yeah, and they're going to get. He's going to have Raul Jimenez to work with. He's going to have Kieran Trippier to work with. So at least he'll have some He'll have some toys in the toy chest if this ends up getting final. But I just wanted to get your feedback on that really quickly. As always, the way that we work fully loaded is I don't know what he wants to come and talk about. He sends me a list. I look at the list for the first time when we start the segment, and so now I look at the list. Argentina : the world thinks they're done, but they will show the world how it's done again. And once again, I said they're my pick. I picked them to do the Cinderella. I want the happy ending. I want the back-to-back. I want Messi to go into the sunset with Lautaro, Lisandro, with all the heavyweights, Thiago Almada. I want them to get the title for him so they go back-to-back and he can retire in the sunset internationally.
In in their last friendly match with Iceland, Messi he didn't start, right?
Nope,
So,
I was there.
But listen to this. Listen to this timing, Johnny. Right? He enters the pitch in the minute 69, right? Minute 69.
Nice.
Exactly 30 seconds later, 30 seconds of being on the pitch, he puts an assist, gets the penalty, and then he scores the penalty. He's just the magic man. He's the magic man. He's Mozart. He's everything and everyone in one single person. And everybody. I mean not everybody, but lots of people believes that they're not that into this competition this time. I was like, no, you were so wrong, buddy. You were so wrong. Once the whistle blows, all right, once they put on the pitch with that jersey, with those stars, they're looking for their number 4. All right, and they're looking for the first time since 1962 to get that done. And the people don't realize in the States the fierce rivalry between Argentina and Brazil. All right. If the Brazilians get done something, Argentina has to do something. If Brazil gets something done, then Argentina gets something done. It's just this is an incredible race to reach paradise, and it's what the fuel that they're getting from that. The Brazil has that, and they don't. It's just the motivation is through the roof, brother, through the roof. Just remember that. Just remember that. And of course, it's gonna be the last dance for Leo. He's gonna, by the way, in the first game versus Australia, Leo Messi will play his match number 200 with the Argentine jersey. 200 matches on his 6th World Cup.
Crazy.
And it's crazy, right? Because and I got this. I'm gonna show the world how it's done, because actually there's a TC Sports commercial about it in Spanish. With creen que estamos hechos. Vamos a enseñarles de qué estamos hechos. That's the translation there for you guys.
Thank you.
A bit too fast, but anyway, that's it. I'll show the world how it's done.
All good, bro. Topic number 2. Brasileiros. Carletos Soprano leading the way to end the drought.
Is it going to happen or not? Is it going to happen or not? For the first time ever, an outsider will win the World Cup?
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. It's just... but don't count them out. Don't count them out. People believe that Brazil is going to derail, maybe in the quarterfinals. They believe that there's not enough no talent. There's lots of talents in there.
Well, but it's here.
Yes,
it's here.
Yes, that's when Carlito comes into place.
Okay.
That's when Carlito comes into place.
Okay.
Right. This is a guy that knows how to get championships done with critical rosters, with a full of frat boys roster. Yeah, he can handle that. He can handle that. All right, and he puts the pieces together the way he's supposed to. And Neymar, please, Prince, the Prince of Santos. I just this is more of an emotional pick for you than a tactical or anything, but it's just emotional pick for me for Brazil to win this one. Can you imagine this, man? Could you imagine Neymar halfway through injured winning the World Cup in 1 foot? Give me a story, brother. Is it better than the comeback from the Knicks last night, man?
Wow. I think that, and the fact that Neymar is a piece and not the man, I think that helps Brazil
a lot,
because if he was the centerpiece and if Carlo Ancelotti had to fuel everything through them, and this is why I think that Portugal is going to be a problem if you pick Portugal, because you've got Roberto Martinez and you've got Cristiano Ronaldo, and can Ronaldo accept not being the guy, capital T, capital G, or do you have to, if you're Roberto Martinez, sit there and go, I got to keep my man happy, and then he
I
turns
think it would be a
into
mistake.
this, I think then you turn into a vacuum. It is basically it is a football black hole. If you put Cristiano Ronaldo out there for Portugal with all of the other talent that's there, there's that obligation to feel like you got to feed that black hole. And I think that's why Portugal will have problems.
Yeah, and I think Martinez is not gonna make that mistake. He's not gonna make that one. In the farewell game at the Stade Magalhães, Ronaldo played 69 minutes, 70 minutes or so, and when he left the pitch, man, the dynamics of that team, it just became brutal and faster and stronger. And oh my God, it was just a goal scoring machine.
Mm-hmm.
They will turn up into a machine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's the kind of talk that he has to make. He has to have with Ronaldo, right? That talk, Moneyball talk with when Billy Bean talks to David Justice. Listen, just give me the last ounce of baseball that you have in you, but I want you to lead from your experience. I don't want you to lead from what you believe you are. I want you to lead from what you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if he, I'm pretty sure he had that conversation, right? I'm not there, but I just know that conversation already took place. If the conversation hasn't took place yet, probably in the airplane, they're flying out to the States. I think they got there. No. Today, I think they're arriving today because they played yesterday. So probably took the flight last night or early this morning.
Yeah.
So they're probably arriving to the States around, I don't know, in the afternoon at one point. Yeah.
So hey, bruh, I need to talk to you. Come to the back of the plane. And
yeah.
so,
Hey, I was gonna say, give me a glass of whiskey, but Ronaldo doesn't drink anything, so just give me water, bro. Give me Evian or whatever you have.
Give me my hydrolyzed water and my grilled chicken breasts.
Yes, and broccoli too, please.
Yes, and all of my broccoli. Ecuador, the tricolor and their world-class defense looking to make a deep run.
I think this is the World Cup where Ecuador will make their deepest run ever.
Huh? Okay.
Ever. They got the knockout stage back in 2006 out of a brutal group. But they're always, I was talking to friends, and Ecuador always crashes in short tournaments. Copa America, they're a disaster. And in the world, but this is a different. Listen, we are in a different chapter of history. Okay, all the chapters that you read, I don't care about those chapters. We are in a different chapter with brand new ink. And I think this group, even though I know they don't have a world-class striker, they don't have it. This has always been an issue for them and for us. But the game, the way the game works now, I'm not saying that you don't need a striker, but you can use different weapons in order to get to goal now. All right, the same way that we don't play with the number 10 anymore. Yeah, Leo, you're the only one. But the number 10 as per se as a position is no longer there. Right. You play with two, with a 6, with the 8. You got, instead of one guy, you got two guys. It's a different story now. So it's the same way with the striker. You by not having, France won the World Cup with Olivier Giroud not making a single shot, not just one goal, without making a shot in the entire World Cup. And France won the World Cup in 2018 with their striker not scoring, not even getting a single eye on the target for the entire tournament, right? So that's not the case with Ener Valencia. Ener Valencia will lead the way for the offense in Ecuador, but the core is so strong. Their core is so strong with Caicedo, with Hincapié, with Pacho, with Alaminda, with Angelo Preciado.
Estepican, Ordonez. Yeah, man.
I mean, you got people that can fly in there, man. Those guys can fly on the wings. Can the way that they stretch up the pitch, the way they defend, the way they retrieve. Ecuador is so organized when they retrieve their forces that it's so hard for teams to do any kind of damage on them.
Mhm.
And if they get enough goals, I think they will go deep into the competition. I'm saying quarterfinals for Ecuador.
Okay. I mean, but we will say this because of our man Bekasese and his flow, which is unquestioned. Everybody's sitting there and they're talking about his previous gigs, but they're always leaving one gig out. Defensa y Justicia.
Yeah.
Everybody's forgetting how he got the launch pad. It was the SDH bump from his time at Defensa y Justicia.
Yeah.
Where we launched into it and we were like, oh man, getting in the cup competitions, Bekasese and that flow. And the defense, I don't think you're going to have a question. Offense, that's what you got to get untracked. You got to get that online and get that going because they average a little over a goal a game in qualifiers. And so you got to get that moving a little bit more. Defense will be fine. That's not going to be the problem for me. Offense is going to be the problem for me. That defense, you're going to get a lot of zeros on the board. They're going to clamp down on a lot of folks and make it really difficult.
Hey, Johnny, but if you get one every game, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
true.
That is 3, and that is 3 wins. That's 9 points, and you're out the door, brother.
And they're gonna play Germany. Germany, is it Germany? They're in the group of Germany. I'm making this.
Hang on.
I
was flipping pages here. Fixtures. One to watch. Starting 11. Of course, I have to go backward now. They are in group. Curacao.
Ecuador. Ecuador.
Yeah, Curacao.
Germany in the last game.
And Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire. So that's going to be wow. Bekasese and Dick Advocat. Oh, that's going to be great.
Ooh,
that's going to be some fun-ish, man. I mean, you have the Lion in winter in 78-year-old Dick Advocat, who got them there, had to leave to take care of family matters. Now he's back, and now you've got the youngin in Bekasese and the Lion in Advocat. That's going to be a fun one for me.
Yeah, it's gonna be massive, man. It's gonna be so fun to watch, and when I'm, what's the best part of this group for Ecuador, that they play in Germany last.
Mm-hmm.
So that I mean, if you get your point, whatever it costs, you destroy Curacao, you get into the Germany game pretty much set for the for that second place or first place. Who knows? Germany hasn't been great in the last couple of World Cups in the first groups in the group stage. They were ousted in the group stage. I don't think they'll be ousted this time.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Right?
You get 4 points going into that Germany match. You're in good shape.
Yeah, and absolutely great shape. And then last couple of times, Mexico did it. South Korea did it. So they shook the wall when they beat Germany in the group stage. So who knows, man? Who knows if Ecuador goes through first? I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's going to happen, but to be realistic. But I think it's going to be Germany and Ecuador going through in that group E.
Group H. Uruguay, the Spartans in Spartan mode in Group H with Spain, Saudi Arabia, and Cabo Verde.
This in this edition of the World Cup. That's why I put the Spartan mode, because it's not the most talented or group that I've seen from Uruguay in years. Usually the striker issue is a Pacific Ocean or a Pacific Coast issue in South America. Not on the East Coast,
right?
Not on the East Coast. They got all the strikers from the other side of the continent. Uh, but now this time, they gotta rely on Rodrigo Aguirre, who, by the way, he's been working perfect. He's been working just fine for Bielsa in the qualifiers, but he's not world class. He's not world class, and Darwin Nunez went to freaking Saudi Arabia to show that how he can hit the poles, not scoring goals, to hit the poles, and so that's I don't know. I don't know, but at the same time, I just can't count him out either in the competition. In La Celeste is probably the most feisty team ever in the World Cup. But they proved when was it? They were out in 2006, 2010, 2014. Well, I'm gonna leave this era out, the 2010 to 2022, because that was the best ever with Cavani, Suarez, and Forlan. But before that era, in the eras where they didn't have that talent, they made the competitions tougher for everybody else, So it's just all about this is all about pride in Uruguay. It's all about pride, and hopefully they get it done in what is it, Group H? You said what are they? Ooh,
Spain.
oof.
Spain.
Watch out for Saudi Arabia. Watch out for Saudi Arabia. My God, that game.
I'll do you one more. Look out for Cabo Verde.
Oh
Because
yeah, hold on with that guy. Hold on with those guys, huh?
CJ Dos Santos, Pico Lopez, Steven Moreira from Crew. I mean, there's some troublemakers there.
Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully we're gonna see. Probably this could be the most fun group to watch. This one, because it could be anything. It could be anything, right? But I believe the Spain won't have Spain won't have no mercy on Cabo Verde. I mean, zero, nothing.
Nope.
I don't care who you are, who you play. If you got here swimming, I don't give a damn. We're gonna run you over.
Yeah,
we're gonna run you over. Do you watch the Spain Peru game a little bit? No, do you watch it? No,
I did. I did not. What did I miss?
It's the how they control their pace. Spain. That game could have ended 8-0.
Wow.
It was just that bad. It was that bad. We were chasing the ball, and chasing the ball. And then they were like, okay, and then they score. They slow down. They give Peru like a false sense of, we can make this up. We can make this up. So they let him through a couple of times. And then they were mad again. And like, you know what? Let's push the gas pedal one more time. Boom, 2-0, 3-0. And they're massive. Spain is just massive. They have talent on every single position. And no matter who plays, is the same level of performance in Spain. And so I'm gonna say probably 6. What are the odds on that game, Johnny? What's the odds for Cabo Verde in that one? Tell me.
Well, and that one, by the way,
15,000.
That one is here, by the way. That is the noon kick on Monday here here in Atlanta. Spain is 1,000 on the minus side. Draw is a plus 1,100. Cabo Verde to win is a plus 2,500.
2,500, man. Jesus Lord.
Yeah. Well, and that's right now. That doesn't even talk through the weekend or anything. And just so you know, the juice boxes on the amount of the balls placed in the net. 3.5 is a minus 108, and that's where it changes from minus to plus. 4 is a plus 142. 4.5 is a plus 200. 5 is a plus 350, and it goes up from there, obviously.
Huh.
4 is a plus 142. And I guess they're looking at not having Lamine Yamal or whatever, and that's why they're keeping the number low. That's my guess.
Yeah, Lamine will play. Lamine will play. I mean, probably if he misses that game, they're not worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not worried about it. Lamine not being for playing against Cabo Verde. Yeah. I think that we can handle this match without Jamil. So he's gonna have another week of to fully recover. Because by the way, I got Lamine Jamal on my fantasy team, so you better get back in business, brother. Huh?
Okay.
Yeah. This is amazing. You wanna see my hero by 11 for my fantasy? Huh? Look at this. I got Fernando Muslera under the pipes. Got Junior Alonso. Got Upamecano. I got Min Jae Kim. I got Musiala, Fabian, Leo Paredes, and Luciano Valenci. And on top, we got Lamine, we got Lucho Suarez, and Marquitos Rashford. That's my 11.
All right.
I love it.
I'm down. I'm down. Topic last has to do with Colombia, the last dance for James, and he'll try to match up his first.
Will they? That's the thing with Colombia. I mean, you know what? I think that the Colombian team has like kind of like the same vibe that Argentina had with Leo in 2022. You know, they know that this is his last chance to get anything. Right? I'm not saying that they're going to win the World Cup. I'm not saying that. I'm not putting Colombia as candidate. But if they're going to make a deep run, I also believe that they're going to make a deep run because of this, because of playing for James, because of the aura that James Rodriguez brings to the table in Colombia. And we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens with Colombia. I love Lucho Suarez. Hopefully, he gets to keep up his massive form that he had with Sporting. Hopefully Richard Rios forgets about his season with Benfica because it wasn't great. But this is the kind of guy Richard Rios is the kind of guy that wants they're national team players. He belongs to that breed because they're players that they play fantastic in the leagues, but when it comes to the national team, they disappear. No, but Richard Rios, no sir, no. He's the kind of guy that he shows up, he puts the tricolor on, and he is just gonna shine like a superstar for Colombia on this 2026 edition. Johnny, where are you gonna watch the World Cup, brother?
Well, today, Madison Cruz, Drew Dickinson, and I will be at Reformation Brewing in the northern suburbs. We're there today and tomorrow. In the afternoon, we're the bridge. We're the conduit between the afternoon game and the night game.
All right.
And then Jason is going to be at a restaurant in Gwinnett County tomorrow because we go from 5 to 6 in our location. He picks it up from 6 to 8. He's the pregame show to the pregame show because I've heard the U.S. is playing tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And so he's gonna do that. And then we're back at it again, and we're all over the place. And I've got my bank calendar ready to go. And this morning show here is going 7 days a week, starting this weekend during the World Cup, 9:05 Saturday and Sunday mornings. Might just be a power hour. Don't know yet. Just depends on how much I got to talk about. 7 days a week. 7. One more than 6, 7. So that's what we're all over the place, and we'll sleep in December or something.
Yeah. It's just just talk to my girl. Like, so I guess I'm not gonna see you in I'll see you in July. We'll talk in July.
World Cup widows. World Cup widows. Yeah. That is absolutely the case. obviously, you know that you want to vent your spleen. You know you can come in if there's a slot that's open. We can just go ahead and jam. And don't just hold yourself to a fully loaded Thursdays, because I imagine there's going to be a lot to talk about. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah. So yeah, just be ready to crash the gates, and you know the gate code. It's always good to see you, my friend. Love you very much, and enjoy today and enjoy the next couple of days, because I know I'm going to see you long before you come back in 7 days' time. That much I do know.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, guys, and hopefully you got a great World Cup and the best of the best to the U.S. team. And let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go.
Get out of group first, and then go from there. Just get out of group first. That's what you're hunting for. That's all I want.
I believe.
Yes, exactly. All right. Yeah, exactly. Right here. We'll see you soon, my friend.
See you, man. Take care.
There goes Nino Torres from Lima, Peru. And that's the rundown from Nino as he gets to stare at it, and it will be from his perspective. He was wearing his Peruvian national team jersey, by the way, and it was very, very, obviously it's very, very it's important viewing. It is important viewing, as always. So it is always going to be fun. It's wall to wall. Find your experiences, set your notifications, be ready to go in any and all places. Enjoy the experience for what it is. I'm still waiting on my my Panini beginnings. I got my first box and I got my first book, so I'm waiting for that. So as you've seen Jason on AST open up his packet. Sophia, by the way, has got all the heavyweights. I think she got a Cristiano Ronaldo. Maddie got a Messi. I think Sophia got a Miguel Almiron, because it took her 70 packs to get the big 5 that she was looking for. But then Maddie and Sophia and Jason also got the Brazil hologram card, which apparently is well sought after on the eBays, as the kids say. I mean, the price of that thing, the Brazil hologram card, that one's pretty expensive. And so if all of y'all are that way, then apparently Sophia has bought 70 packs so far, I think. Like I said, I'm still waiting for my first box, and then we'll get into those experiences as we go. I'm probably going to have to end up buying more boxes and more boxes and more boxes. But to Will's point, you know what you need to have with it? You need to have the Soccer Down Here lager. That's what you absolutely need. And you can pick it up here locally. Oh, Ruling Hound. I see now you just showed up through YouTube. You didn't show up here where I can't do anything. But yes, find your SDH loggers, and you can find them, and make sure that you are gassed up and ready to go with it. And you can go to, it's through Nofo Brewing, and the cans are available. The 4-packs are available. And I believe we are working as best we can to have them in bottles in the next couple of months. Got a 4-pack here at the house. I'm not going to be consuming it, mind you. We're not necessarily beer people, but you will see the 4-pack here in the studio space in short order, just to show you what it looks like. Great purple stuff. That's a great purple can, great design. So very, very cool stuff. And we can't thank our friends at Nofo for being great partners with us in the SDH Lager. So Savannah Distributing. If you know anyone in your favorite part of the planet, you have your favorite watering hole, then what you need to do, not yet. It is not in stores yet, David. It needs to go, like I said, you need to go through Nofo Brewing and wherever your nearest Nofo location is, or or you can go to your favorite store or watering hole and ask them for SDH Lager. And I think it's through Savannah Distributing. So that way they can get it, and you can orient it and go, literally, you go wandering into your favorite establishment. Hey, you don't have Soccer Down Here lager. No, we don't. Where can we get it? Well, it's through Nofo Brewing, and you can get it in 4-packs. And, like, show the picture on social media. It's like, here, get this. And so that way you can encourage your favorite establishment, or maybe even your favorite store, to stack SDH lager. And so that way, once again, go to NoFo, encourage your favorite watering hole as to what you need to do to get said stuff squared away. And then that way it'll be an opportunity for you to sample SDH lager and be right there at the front of the line when it comes to the purple cans and the next stage in all of our stuff. Encourage your favorite watering holes, NoFo Brewing, and wander into NoFo if you're close to a NoFo and just grab it yourself. And then that way, but yes, also outside encouragement of establishments and stores is always welcome. And Savannah Distributing, I think, is the distributing arm of said lager. Like I said, I'm not a beer person, but a lot of effort went into it from our friends at NoFo and Jason, and it was a painstaking process. You need to have Jason explain the painstaking process when you catch up with him on Atlanta Soccer Tonight. Oh, by the way, yeah, I need to do the broadcast plans. That's what we need to do. I was wondering, was something I forgot. Today, like I said, Maddie, Drew, and I will be up at Reformation in Canton. We'll be on from 5:15 to 6:15. We are the in-betweens, and we're a part of all of that process today. So we'll be there from 5:15 to 6:15 today, 5 to 6 tomorrow, because we have to be out by 6, since Jason is the pregame show to the pregame show for the United States. Tomorrow, he is from 6 to 8, AST on 92.9 The Game in the Odyssey app. We're from 5 to 6 at Reformation tomorrow, 5:15 to 6:15 today. So all right, so here are the broadcast plans for today. I just want to make sure that we've got it right. And so let's see, before the whistle. Okay. It is, let's see, today, 10 o'clock start. It is 10 o'clock, 92.9 The Game in the Odyssey app and the 92.9 The Game YouTube channel. And that is universal. The three-dimensional experience at 92.9 The Game, that is today, tomorrow, and every day. Time could change depending on Team USA. But tonight, 10 o'clock, 92.9 The Game, Odyssey app, 92.9 The Game YouTube channel. 11 o'clock, it changes over to it's just the YouTube channel. So the three-dimensional experience, you get Atlanta Soccer Tonight and then stoppage time on the YouTube channel starting at 11 o'clock. So Kevin Egan joined last night for predictions. And now tonight, kickoff right as South Korea and Czechia get underway in Guadalajara. And so you'll watch together. So that's kind of the that is the plan for this evening is 92.9 The Game, Odyssey app, YouTube channel, 10 o'clock start, 11 o'clock YouTube channel. That's stoppage time. So then today, the Mill at Etowah. The Mill at Etowah, it's going to be me, Maddie, and Drew. So 5 to 6:15. So we'll be there for that. From 5 to 6:15, the Mill at Etowah, Georgia Impact's World Cup opener event. We're going to break down Mexico and South Africa. Look forward to the USMNT in Paraguay. So it'll be the three of us yelling at each other for an hour and 15 minutes. We'll catch up with our friends at Impact as well. Men and women in Georgia Impact having great seasons. I can't thank the men's team enough as they were chasing after playoff spots in the UPSL. Was able to do that on Sunday. Can't thank them enough for putting up with me on the broadcast as Maddie was still in Chicago working her way back. And you have the women's team in the throes of the WPSL season, one of the toughest conferences on the planet. I'm not kidding. And so you've got Coach Callum on the men's side in the UPSL, Rob Roddy, and the women's side in the WPSL. So we're going to be at the Mill at Etowah today and tomorrow. And Jason will be at Mazzy's in Duluth from 6 to 8 for his show. So you can join him there and hang out with him there. And that's part of the experience. All right. So now it is the last bits and pieces of the show. Oh, he's dolled up today. Dig this. Get into the studio space. Let's check this out. Look at that. Look at you.
What's going on, boss? Hey, excuse, man. I tried to get fancy with another camera and it did not work. That's why I'm so behind. But
Oh, good.
when it
You
comes
made
to the World Cup, man, I was trying to make something happen. But you know what? We're gonna work on that. It's day one. It is here. It
Mhm.
is time, baby,
Uh-huh.
for the
Oh, listen,
World Cup.
listen to you going all Bruce Buffer on us here. It is definitely that. I wanted to ask, as you are styling and profiling in a particular country's jersey to kick things off, what do you think about the chances of that particular team that you are flashing this morning? Because there are questions. There is a pathway. It is an interesting pathway in group, but when you stare at that squad, what are your questions and concerns in Group K, sir?
Look, overall, it's about trying to do the impossible, it might seem like, which is finishing first of that group, right? Everyone looks at Portugal and Bernardo Silva and Neves and Cristiano Ronaldo and automatically assume, rightfully so, that they're going to be the group that takes the number one spot. And that obviously increases your chances at an easier pathway to get farther into the tournament. So, what am I concerned about is that game, particularly, can Colombia perform enough to at least get a result against Portugal? Look, I was just watching their game recently, and, Cristiano Ronaldo, he looks a little rusty. He looks, he had a couple of really easy-ish opportunities in front of goal. He wasn't quite there, but this is an extremely talented team, right? That midfield is unreal. They actually set up pretty well defensively. So can Colombia do enough to win that game? Now, another thing that concerns me about Colombia is that they themselves have looked very gappy. They have had some very easy conceded goals. I wasn't pleased with their performance against Jordan out of all teams in their last friendly.
Mhm.
And so, there are things about this team that need to be at their very best, and they need to find that form of Copa America that was the hottest team that I've seen Colombia had in a very long time. They have to be able to put it together. And then when it comes to the smaller team, look, Uzbekistan might not be a phenomenal team in terms of like names. But look, Cannavaro is no chump. I mean, he
Mhm.
has put a very good team together that understands that it's all about set pieces. It's all about being good defensively. I saw them put Canada into some very bad positions in that friendly against them. I mean, if it's not for Crepeau having some really big saves, Uzbekistan would have had the lead in that game multiple times. So
Mhm.
that those things Colombia needs to figure out, that you're not being given anything either, and you have a very good and quality team, but you got to be able to take it to teams like that. I don't want to dismiss the Republic of Congo. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that I've watched a lot of their games, but they do seem to have some pieces that could also be interesting in that particular group. But the race, at the end of the day, no disrespect to anyone, it
Mhm.
is Portugal and Colombia for the number one spot.
Yeah, just so folks know, in the group, you're looking at DR Congo ranked 55th, 45th, and their back line includes Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Axel Tuanzebe, who you may know from time in the Premier League. Then in the midfield, you're looking at Noah Siddiqui and Kayembe, and then at forward, you're looking at Bogonda, who they refer to as the Congolese Messi, Simon Banza, and Yohan Wissa. So there are pieces, but the midfield for me, trying to get the ball to those scorers up top, that's going to be, for me, DR Congo. That's going to be one of the biggest elements that I'll be looking at. The back line, I'm not necessarily concerned about as much, considering you've got Tuanzebe, Wan-Bissaka, and Kalulu, and
Mhm.
Chancellor Mbemba is your captain. Backline, I'm cool.
And
And
that's
then,
their strength, really.
right. And so I'm cool with that defensively. They're going to have to wade through the group with a bunch of zeros. That's my gut. They're going to have to hold scoring down against Colombia and Uzbekistan, and it's going to be draw city until with that Portugal matchup with those other two. So that for me is DR Congo. Uzbekistan, you mentioned Fabio Cannavaro. Arnica Khalifi was at practice yesterday, and it was a chance for Nick, our resident Italian, to sit there and see Fabio Cannavaro and what he's been doing. I saw the match that you were talking about, the friendly against Canada in Edmonton, and Uzbekistan defensively had Canada in a vice grip, and it was difficult for them. Then you start to get in. You had the moment, I think, just before the half, and then you had another goal scored in the second half. But Uzbekistan was making it very, very difficult defensively for Canada to operate. And then you get those transition moments, and you were clinical in them. But I think Uzbekistan's going to be a pain in the butt. I think that DR Congo could be defensively, and it wouldn't surprise me if they try to do the same thing, maybe possess the ball 35, 40% of the time, let Colombia do all the work, and then force mistakes and so on. So the 2, the 3, and the 4 in Group K for me, that's where I'm going, okay, that to me is the storyline with Portugal being Portugal.
Yeah, and look, what I like about Uzbekistan is that they understand their limitations, and they are very opportunistic about just playing direct, right? And it seems like they are set up with this 3-4-3, and a lot of times they do defend with 5, but when it's time to go, both of the fullbacks get up extremely quickly. Shamadov seems to be a guy that understands the way Cannavaro wants to play, so he'll pivot at times, drop in, but when you got to cheat a little bit and be able to get behind that line, I'm not saying he's the fastest player, but he had the wheels enough to get behind that Canada back line. So I don't know. Uzbekistan could be a problem because they're so well coached, and he seems like they're a very cohesive unit.
Yep. Tonight, Mexico, El Tri, and we know what they can bring to the table. It's a big matchup. You're the kickoff of the whole thing. Noon your time, 3:00 over here, and you're at the Azteca. I made the point before you came on that if they do not score first and they do not get the building behind them early, if something happens where they're struggling, they can't turn the engine over, it's just all of the nerves and the pressure that's attached to being this number one match in this tournament at the Azteca against Bafana Bafana in South Africa. I wonder how long it weighs on them in this matchup and if they start thinking too much. I'm thinking about intangibles in this one in Group A with Mexico and South Africa this afternoon.
I think this is going to be a very good game. And Mexico's interesting, right? Because although it's not the most talented Mexico I've ever seen, I think that Aguirre has the personality to have this team not be entertaining but be effective. I think that there are question marks in regards to, and we've talked about it here, who's going to be the guy that's really going to take over this team and be able to be that guy that when it's time and you need to really score a goal, who's going to be the guy that puts the team on their backs. But the midfield is very interesting. I think that South Africa, and this is just my idea on how it's going to play out, I feel like that's going to be a draw, and a lot of Mexican fans are not going to be excited about it. But I think South Africa, specifically defensively, they might not be the greatest force, but they do have some very physical players. And what I've seen from Mexico as of late is that they have difficulties with that sort of setup. If you go back to the Australia friendly that they had, Australia is another team that was extremely physical. And I really see a scenario, to your point, that if Mexico doesn't entertain and they are trying to play off of this new Aguirre way, which is going to be pragmatic and it's not going to get forward, does the fan base turn on them? And does that kind of make the pressure and the level of play impacted in any sort of way? So the one thing I would say about Aguirre that he hasn't done enough of is have a team that plays consecutive minutes together. There's been this rotating door of players in the midfield, up top. So how does that play out? I think that remains to be seen. I think that Gallardo is going to be one of the impact players for Mexico. I think Julian Quiñones is a guy to watch. He's the leader of the Saudi League in goals. He's looked very well, and not just attacking, but also defending. But I do think that this first game is going to have a lot of pressure. It's going to have a lot of nerves. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 1-1 or 0-0 affair.
Yeah, that's legitimately, that's what I was thinking. And I was going, man, I ain't touching this one for nothing. You can have it, and I'll sit back and watch, and I'll kick my feet up on the table, and I will just watch all the chaos happen in front of me in this one, because I don't want any of that mess. The first match out of the blocks, I don't want that stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? I do think that there's going to be a lot of physical duels happening. I'm excited to see Bokassi, the Chicago Fire. He's this prospect defender that has looked really good with the South African team. He's looked really good with Chicago. You have another MLSer in Hawalawani who's going to be part of that lineup as well. And another thing that South Africa has going for themselves is the chemistry. A lot of their main players all play for Orlando, the Pirates, right? And it seems like a lot of those players that play in the same team really understand the concepts and the principles that they want to play with. And so, I remember the game against Panama that they ended up losing. I think it was pretty even, but there was little glimpses that I could see of the South African team being able to keep up and put in Mexico into some difficult situations.
Canada, we still are lacking some answers, and we still don't have an answer. And the answer, I guess, has to come today, because you have to submit your roster. We got the Flores answer. Jaden Nelson is now in. We're still lacking our Bombito answer, and whether something is going to change there. Reports were dating back to last week that it wasn't going to happen. Bombito is not going to be a part of the roster, but I understand the subterfuge and the idea that if you're Jesse Marsh, you don't want to sit there and say that someone isn't going to be a part of your activities, because you want the opposition, and coaches are coy, and they're always this kind of thing. So this didn't surprise me one bit. Jesse Marsh, the entire time on Bombito, has said, we're going to wait till the absolute last. You want the opponent to sit there and have to prepare for everything. But now we just have word. There you go. Okay, so from our buddy Christian Jack, Bombito is in. Sources telling Christian Jack this morning reportedly made the roster, set to be on the squad list officially, that has to be submitted by 3:00 today. Ralph Priso misses out as a result. So Bombito is in, but to that effect, how healthy is he? Is he going to start? How many minutes is he going to get? Because all of this is recovery from a broken leg, and those are not fun, especially with all the pressure that you have to put on. So Bombito's a part of the roster, but where does it fit? Does that mean that DeFugerol is going to get the start, the 20-year-old? I'm intrigued. How many minutes can Bombito give you now that he is in as of this morning now?
This is one of those situations where you take a gamble on a guy that is a key part of your team, and you know what he could provide you, but you're going to have to sit him at least a game or two.
Yeah.
And can Canada afford that? It was my hot take of the World Cup that Canada would be the only nation, the only host nation that was going to be eliminated in the group stage. And I really do feel like that could happen.
Wow.
I think that they're going to start off against a Bosnia-Herzegovina team that a lot of people are sleeping on, and they have an offensive way of really wearing out teams, and they have a veteran goal scorer in Deco, and they really understand how to play on set pieces. And this is the reality for Canada. They have not been in any way, shape, or form impressive in their friendlies. And I don't want to be too overzealous on friendlies, but there are things that you can decipher. And the reality is that Canada is just way too many injuries, right? And too many of their main pieces not 100%, right? I thought that losing Flores was huge. I think that this Bombito thing is going to be an issue that they're going to have to deal with. Alfonso Davis not 100%. Jonathan Davis not in his best form. I mean, there's just so many question marks for a team that has to look gappy. Look, even Eustáquio, he's been limited in minutes this season with LAFC. He's been in and out because of some injuries. I mean, everywhere you look, this team just seems to not be at their best. And when you have inspired teams that understand the game, that are going to go out there and see history being made, whether it's with a draw or a win over a host nation in Canada, that is a bad set of results. So I really see Canada struggling, specifically in this first game. I would not be surprised if Bosnia starts this World Cup with 3 points. So, like the Bombito is going to get the opportunity, but I think those sort of gambles can bite you in the behind when you're thinking that you're able to wait on a player and he's not 100%.
To your point, sir, I have here in my hand, we have a picks of the week for the European show that we do on Monday nights, and I'm responsible for the matches. Match number 2 is Canada and Bosnia-Herzegovina. That's number 2. Juice boxes. Canada's a minus 122. Draws a plus 260. Bosnia-Herzegovina is a plus 380.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
And I will give you, I
got plenty of time right before the kickoff.
And I'll give you another name that folks here in our footprint know because he's a certifiable pain in the you-know-what. Esmir Bayraktarovic with the Revs. He spent a lot of time with Revs too.
Yep.
We saw him in MLS Next Pro. He's done well for the first team, and he scored in the qualifiers. He scored the PK, it was part of the PKs in the qualifiers that got them into this tournament. You mentioned Edin Dzeko, who's 40 years old. Good luck trying to stop him on a set piece off a corner. And you see Kolasinac is a part of the discussion. Esmir Bayraktarovic coming off the bench to give you that extra bit of speed is going to be interesting. But, yeah, I have Bosnia-Herzegovina winning this one too. I really did.
Yeah, look, and I really like Ivan Vazic. I feel like their midfield is not prolific in a way that they're going to tear you up on the ball. But when it comes to just dribbling through, passing through you, they can't do it. They have very good distributors. And save me from any team that has been through fire to get to the World Cup. And they have. And they faced Italy. And everybody had them losing that game. And they got it. They got the confidence. They understood that they were taking out a legendary squad, regardless of their current form. This team is battle-proven. And battle-proven teams tend to do pretty well, at least in the group stage of a World Cup.
The last match on Friday night. I don't know if you've heard of this Team USA. They're one of the hosts in this tournament. They are going to be up and running against Paraguay down at SoFi, down for you, over for us. Minus 108 on the board, draws a plus 245. Paraguay is a plus 320. We get to keep an eye on Miguel Almiron and Matias Galarza. And I'm looking right now. I just want to see if we have a Julio Enciso update, because that was supposed to be 2 or 3 weeks, but they said it was a contusion as opposed to anything else. So let's see, so late yesterday. Enciso's in the team training sessions as they're at San Jose State. Likelihood making it to the Turkey match is increasing. Gustavo Alfaro's first 11 tested for the USA match. Gil Cáceres, Gomez, Alderete, Alonso Bobadilla, Cubas, Gomez, Almiron Caballero, and Sanabria. So what do you think about the U.S. and Paraguay?
It's going to be a great game, but I am bold on the U.S. national team getting a good win, a solid, dominant performance. And I'm not buying this whole Enciso will be ready. I'm really not. Gustavo Alfaro, he's an old sailor. Him, I mean, he knows the way the game works.
Kind of like Bombito, huh? Kind of like what we're saying with Moise Bombito. It's like you don't want to give any fodder to the opposition.
No, and with Enciso's even more important because you're going to have to prepare for it, and you're going to have to figure out if he's going to be in, or he's going to be in 45, or is he going to be in the last 15. But Alfaro is never going to go far away from what he does best, which is having a team that is good defensively, right? I mean, he won his first 9 games with Paraguay after he took over for Guillermo Vargas Escaloto. He is a guy that even with Ecuador was extremely, when he was with Ecuador at one point, that was their forte. I think that Gustavo Gomez being closer to 100% because he has been dealing with some injuries, I think is important. I think Aldrete is going to be a very good player, but United States is going to have the ball. They're going to be the protagonists. They're going to be the ones that are going to be able to get Malik Tillman able to, from that pivot position, have a little bit more freedom because he's not going to feel pressed consistently. Now, I'm not saying that this is not a good team, right? You still got Diego Gomez. You still got Almiron. You still have a Paraguayan team that's going to be looking for those opportunities to beat you on the counter. But I think that the U.S. national team's Achilles heel so far has been in transition moments defensively, their inability to cover certain spaces, and the fact that, Tyler Adams is really your only defensive midfielder in this setup, right? Because it seems like it's going to be Tillman next to him. So the U.S. national team, in my opinion, is suited, equipped to break down the walls of a very good Paraguayan team. I think that they're going to have the upper hand. And once the first goal goes in, Paraguay is going to be forced to drop the walls and get out. Once they get out, it's going to be more of an open game. And I think the U.S. national team, if they play to the best of their abilities, if we get a McKinney that can play good in the half spaces, if you get either a Pepe or a Balogun that are not missing chances in front of goal, if you get A-Rod and Dest out consistently on the flanks, I think that you can really stretch out this Paraguayan team. And I went maybe I went a little too hard, but my prediction on Fox 13 was 3-1. That's kind of what I kind of put it out for, because I do think that this U.S. national team could get hot as a home team, fill the fans, and if they get that one goal and they force Paraguay to play him straight up, I think that they could really beat them down.
Look at you hanging out on Q13. Were you there with it? Were you there with Aaron, or were you there with the other folks?
I was there with Aaron.
There you go.
Yeah, and on Monday I will be doing a live show from Seattle Field for the Belgium against Egypt affair.
Yes, Seattle Field. Yes. As always, during this tournament, the door is wide open. If you ever want to vent your spleen and crash in late or normal time for you, late in the show for us, or if I need to go added time, just let me know. And shoot me a message, doors wide open. And, we're going to be talking a boatload of things about a boatload of stuff. So I wish you a fantastic time to embrace everything at Seattle Field. And yeah, we've in early stages. Yeah. Aaron was one of our folks when we wanted intel about everything Seattle. And so, yeah, we know of Aaron Majowski. Yes, we do.
Yeah, well, the Aarons are phenomenal in Fox 13, whether it's Aaron Majowski or Aaron Levine.
Yes, Aaron Levine, the double A, yes. Double A.
Aaron Levine is probably one of the most talented and knowledgeable anchors I've been able to work with. He's been phenomenal, helping me out consistently as well, doing the TV gigs, because he's just so poised. Sometimes I look at him and I'm like, how are you not sweating? But it's definitely a good team there at Fox 13. So I'm very lucky and privileged to be part of the national coverage that Fox will be doing here cool. from the Seattle side.
Double Aaron and Erin and Q13 and our man Nico Moreno. As always, my friend, have a great weekend. Yes, and by the way, we're going mornings 7 days a week. So Saturday and Sunday shows start this weekend during the World Cup too. So if you're ever really hurting and we go longer than an hour, we're starting 9:05. I don't think you're up at 6:05 in the morning on a Saturday or a Sunday. But yeah, if you're ever up and around, seriously, just text me. The door's always open. It's great to see you, my friend. Enjoy day one as we get rolling here on this World Cup thing.
I got you, baby. Vamos, Colombia!
Yes, of course. Yeah, there he goes. He kissed the crest, and he's going to go get hydrated. Good to see him. Wow, Nico Moreno. He's fired up. I had to ask about Hamas because that's a lightning rod. Does he get the last ounce of participation out of what's there in the body? So I had to ask about that. Glad we got through what's going on there at Seattle Field, and that he gets to hang out with our friends at Q13 in Fox in Seattle. So now we're going to have to watch, because the Big 55 actually does have access to Q13. So we'll have that all laid out for you. All right, so that's today. Power Hour, as always, Nino and Nico, and great to catch up with Karn Saxena from use fanpath.com. And if you want to get to the point to where you're chasing and you're traveling and you want to go and see things last minute, see if Karn can help you out when it comes to everything at Fanpath. And so it's really cool to catch up with him and see how things have continued to evolve with his app and his quest to make it affordable for anyone and everyone trying to get from point A to point B, especially on big ticket items. I thought I had one more thing to get into before we left. Did I leave it? Did I leave it that way? Did I? I think we're in decent shape. Okay, I think we're in decent shape. So remember, today, once again, 5 to like 6:15. Maddie Cruz running point. Maddie, Drew Dickinson, and myself at the Mill at Etowah. World Cup opener event for Georgia Impact. We're going to break down Mexico and South Africa. Look ahead to the USM&T match. We're going to be joined by folks from the Impact on the men's and women's sides. We're going to break down all of that stuff. Very, very cool. And we can't thank them enough for letting us come up there and crash. Then tomorrow, 5 to 6, Mill at Etowah. And it'll be the three of us again. And we'll get you ready for the weekend. We have to be out by 6 o'clock because Jason will have Atlanta Soccer tonight, 92.9 The Game on the Odyssey app from 6 to 8 as the pre-pregame show for the United States match at SoFi or LA Stadium or whatever they're calling it. And that will be tomorrow. Today, once again, 5:15, 6:15 after the Mexico match. We'll get you covered with that. We'll get you ready for everything going on in that hour. And we'll catch up with everything Georgia Impact as well. We can't thank them enough for everything. So for Nico, for Nino, for Karn, thanks to y'all. Let me say hi to everybody before we get out of here. And once again, SDH Logger, NoFo, and Savannah Distributing if you don't have a NoFo near you. So morning, David. And let's see, morning, Will, morning, Abby. And let's see, morning, Ricky. And yes, and once again, good to have Gabe Schrei and our friends at NSBN. They're now a part of La Familia. So it is great to find out what's going on up there with them and to be the fantastic partners of the National Sports Network at NSBN Sports. So the National Sports Network now also part of our broadcast family running the show here on their network, 9:05 Until I Shut Up on Monday through Friday. And then once again, World Cup, we're up and running on the weekend. So there you go with that. So our friend Gabe Schrei, based up nsbnsports.com. Follow them on socials at NSBN Sports. And can't thank them enough for wanting to be partners with us and let you know what's going on when it comes to the beautiful game on a daily basis. So also Abby and Will. And let's see. So Abby and Will, and trying to see who else is here. I think we're there. And Ricky and all of the folks. So once again, thanks for hanging out with us as we get ready to hang out with all of you. Match today at 3 o'clock. Match today at 10 o'clock. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Chris Whittingham from Apple TV, Major League Soccer, is going to be joining us at 10 o'clock. We'll see if either Michael Parkhurst or Greg Garza can join. And we'll see who else may join in the 10 o'clock hour, because it is the hour of chaos. And you may as well just end a week the way you end a week. So for everybody here at SDH, enjoy day one of this World Cup thing. I've heard it's a big deal. Since it is the end of the show, Mucha Platiel, play it safe. Means I get to do this. We'll see you from the Mill at Etowah, 5 o'clock this afternoon.